Well, good morning, everyone. Look at
Good
this.
morning.
We've
Good
got
morning.
the whole crew here today. What do you know? James,
What
I
do you
don't think
know?
you have your camera. There we go. Hey, James.
Morning.
Good morning. Dave, good morning.
Good morning, everybody.
So, everybody, as you can tell, Dave is harvesting crops today. He was able to join us, but he's going to be muted a lot. So, it's we've got some technology things going on again. I've repositioned my camera. I've got technical stuff happening. So if we glitch out or something, just bear with us. We're trying to get there.
And don't
Alex, how are
blame
you this morning?
and don't blame the IT guy.
Yeah, no, this is all me on this time.
How am I? I'm sitting up taking nourishment. My phone apparently works during a live broadcast. Airing my lungs to breathe and a voice to help. So I'm blessed. It's a good day.
Exactly. James, how the heck are you, sir?
Oh, another day, another dollar.
There we go. So did you get back home after going down and helping Dave?
I did.
Yep.
It was a fun time. He's officially the corn pimp.
Another Jamesism.
Exactly. Interstateism at its best. Exactly. All right. Well, let me say some good mornings here. Let's see here. Who do we have with us this morning? Benji 1959. Good morning, Ben. The sheriff, Lisa Maria, is here. Good morning, Lisa. Marianne Thompson. Valerie James said, I'm on time. Yes, ma'am, you are. So glad you're here. Kathleen Garcia is with us. Sherry from East Tennessee. Hey, Sherry. And let's see here. Oh, my goodness. Wendy's here. Joy is here. Benji said, "Tiny Diny hot dog." Yep, that's the new gift that they've added to our stream here. Tanya Moonsheimer's here. Mary Lee's Brown. Good morning. Lori Christine. Rick Senior. Good morning, Rick. Laffy Rocks is here. Jan Lovenby and Grandma. Franny Dragonfly. Sassy Minnesota Girl. The man, the myth, the legend, John Gwynn is here. Good morning, John. Charlie. Hey, Charlie. Glad you could make it. Lee is here. Oh, my goodness. Kissing Bandit and Lipstick as well. Good morning, Bandit. Baby Girl is here. Good morning, Baby Girl. All right, here. Now, we're going to, we've tried to make some changes, but apparently I did something wrong on the technology end, trying to give Alex control of the controls, but that didn't work out too well yet. So it's back to me. So if we have some lapses in effectiveness, you can't blame Alex. You got to blame me on this one. So let's see if we can do a indices with Alex.
Good morning, everybody. Go ahead and move my screen over here so I'm looking all professional. Happy Monday on this wonderful 22nd day of September 2025. Indices as they sit up, and up. We got S&P 500 up 7 points to 6,671. The Dow is up 13 points to 46,328. NASDAQ is up 54 points to 22,685. Gold is up $62 to $3,768 per ounce. It's huge. Silver also up 74 cents to $44.10. Meanwhile, James, you're still going to have to buy steaks, brother. Crypto markets down, down, down. Bitcoin tanked down. Well, not tanked, but took a significant downturn, sitting at 112,928. Ethereum down 7% to 4,100. Let's see. XRP down 4%, back below the $3 mark to $2.86. Cardano down 7% to 82. Sui down 7% to $3.37. XLM Stellar Lumens is down 4% to 37 cents, and HBAR is back down to 22 cents. That's negative 6%. One drop for the day, folks, for a delta. September 22nd, 2022. Have you ever witnessed a full-blown international mainstream media constant barrage counterattack? Conspiracy? Question mark. Simple logic answers the question. I find that so interesting
Excellent.
for
Thank you, Alex.
the time.
Exactly. Hey, Richard Pacente's over here on YouTube. Peggy Smith is back in Cali. Well, welcome back, Peggy. PJ Party. Let's see here. Okay, well, Dave, are you able to provide us with a little bit of a report here?
Yep, absolutely. Just picking some corn here in eastern Iowa. This stuff's doing pretty decent, respectable anyway. Corn was down 4 to 5 on the day. Beans down 12 to 14, and wheat was down 9 to 10 the last I looked. Cattle and hogs I did not get to, so I apologize for that. But this multitasking is very difficult out here. So I'm happy to be back on the live, and I think we got a few rain days coming this week. So I'll be back on the kitchen table doing a little better job.
That's great. We're just glad you're
doing
here,
fine.
Dave.
Doing fine,
Just
Dave.
glad you're here. All right, let's see here. We have you guys, I'm telling you, with all these multiple screens, it's challenging to say the least. So we have Christy B from Hayesville, Kansas is here. Good morning, Christy. Lord Bullion is here. King's Girl 1974. Crane Guy 16,000 says, good morning, Alex.
Good morning,
Traveler's here. Hey, Traveler. Glad you could make it. Chris Romano is welcoming back James and Dave, as we all are. Pure Blood Holly John said, we love a man on a tractor. I love that. Exactly,
she thinks
Holly.
my tractor's sexy.
Exactly. All right. Well, let's see here, James. Do we have a military report this morning?
Yes, sir, we do. It's a little bit different compared to what I normally do. Right now, there's an overwhelming backlog of immigration cases here in the United States, 3.7 million and growing. The anticipated military assignments come after Department of Justice Executive Office of Immigration Review relaxed the rules last month so that any lawyer can now serve as the temporary immigration judge. With this backlog, it is the goal to reduce illegals as rapidly as possible. In New York, 2 immigration judges are removed, 7 in San Francisco, Chicago, Boston. More than 100 immigration judges have been fired or voluntarily left. Each and every case will be looked at back through 2020. The sanctuary cities and states are going to be looked at next. 600 military attorneys are on a 179-day assignment, and it's renewable. So they're here to stay.
Excellent. Thank you, James. It's so good to have you back, man. Everybody missed you. And
No, they didn't.
They did. And we were riding you like a tractor the whole time.
You know, Dave said something about mooning y'all. I don't know if that kind of stuff is tolerable, but I was gonna.
No, probably a bad idea, James. No props, no mooning. Nice try. Oh, boy. Let's see. Tracy Fagan's here. Hey, Tracy. Glad you could make it. Let's see. Dobermom 79 is here. Good morning, Dobermom. Gary Eicher 0 is here from Oklahoma. Terry Dykus from Arkansas. Hey, Terry. Calvin Lee, IGY 622 is here. Good morning, Calvin. Benji 1959 said, we did. Yes, we did what? Martin's WB is here. Good morning,
James.
Martin.
We missed James. That's what
yeah,
saying.
Exactly. There you go. Well, we did. Absolutely. It's hard, James, when you're not. Oh, there he goes. He's got his NOS going. Prepare, everybody. It could be on at any time with James here drinking his NOS. All right. So Richard Presente over on YouTube said, great job, James. Yes, he always does a great job. All right. So let's get into some of the stories here. So the FCC chairman, Brendan Carr, said that he believes it would be worthwhile to investigate whether ABC's daytime talk show, The View, is violating broadcast rules in the wake of Jimmy Kimmel's suspension. Now, what I found really interesting, I posted this over on X. There is a clip running around of Jimmy Kimmel talking about when Roseanne Barr was fired and how he thought that there should be consequences for what she said, and he agreed with the network that she should be, removed. And now he's crying like a little girl because he did the same thing and got canceled. What do you make of it, Alex?
I don't have my soundboard up. Womp 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 womp. So you get this really cool license from the FCC to broadcast on the public airwaves. We're not talking about cable. We're not talking about internet. Public airwaves, which is if you did not have cable, the free antenna that you can get gives you free access, right? Radio is the same thing. And if you don't follow the rules, you don't get to keep your license. I think that maybe they would be more successful on a cable show, but we know that's not true either. So times are changing. The tide is swinging. Accountability, receipts. We're living in good times, despite the events of the last couple of weeks. I'm optimistic.
Yeah, exactly. James, what are your thoughts?
Well, they're going to be looking to see if The View is actually a bona fide news program, which I don't believe it is. I think we kick their ass and, all over the place when it comes to a bona fide news panel. President Trump calls the panelists on The View degenerates.
Oof, yeah. President Trump doesn't mince words. And I, for one, am glad to see it.
They used to love Trump on that show. Like that's what do people not see about that? They used to love Trump on The View. He was like the man. Whoopi was excited. Everybody, yay, Trump, yay, Trump. But as soon as he's going to take away their cookie jar, oh, watch out.
Yeah, exactly. Dave, are you able to comment?
Yeah, it's interesting. Look how far we've come in this short time of 8 months, 9 months. It's incredible. This was acceptable, 12 months ago, and look where we're at now. It's obviously, you've got your opinion, and that's how you treat it. It's not a news channel. It's opinions. So it is what it is. But at least they're throwing something across the bow of them to make them pay attention.
Yeah, and another thing on this too. So you have the left screaming and yelling about censorship. Yet when President Trump, as the president of the United States, was kicked off Twitter, I didn't hear them screaming then. When Tucker Carlson was fired from Fox, I didn't hear them screaming then. And now all of a sudden they've got their panties in a wad because Jimmy Kimmel got the axe. I don't buy it. Sorry. Not flying with me. All right. Next we have, we're having some technical issues here. Hold on, everybody. Let's see. There we go. So President Trump coming out swinging with Ilhan Omar, saying that she should be impeached, claiming she married her brother for citizenship. Now, we all know that already, but President Trump coming out and saying it in mainstream media, oh my gosh. James, what do you make of it?
Oh, it gets way better than that, baby. Check this out. President Trump said in one of his posts, "What scum we have in our country," and he was referring to her. And I couldn't agree more. She comes from a impoverished, Civil War corrupted country. She came here $45,000 in debt, and now she has millions. Oh, geez. And she got that way because she's embezzling money in the state of Minnesota. And it's definitely not misinformation. It's in just about every newspaper across here, especially the cities that are red. If you go towards the Minneapolis, St. Paul region, it's a little bit different motivation for the Democrats, but out here where I'm at in the rural area, it's all red.
Yeah, 100%. Dave, any thoughts?
Well, it's interesting on how he brings these up. We've talked about this in the past, and apparently now it's time to bring it out. So if that is true case, she's kicked out. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you.
Exactly. We've got an interstate ism coming from Mega Dave. Alex, any thoughts?
Well, Skippy said, James, live from behind the enemy lines. I mean, James would know best as to how this woman's insanity is affecting the population because he's in the state. But, yeah, okay, what else has Trump come out and said publicly? Well, now it's you're married to your brother, and oh, is there a birth certificate somewhere that might not be legit? I don't know, man. He calls it what it is, and as Sam eloquently says, I for one am here for it. So
Exactly. Native San Diegan over on YouTube said they don't like it when it happens to them. So true. It's like when they point the finger, they forget there's three more pointing back at them. Skippy said Omar is a fifth columnist. Richard Pacente said, now that's true journalism, the truth. Exactly. 100% I agree. All right, let's see here. Hey, Kevin Kiesler just made it. Hey, Kevin, glad you can make it. We have, oh, wow, okay, so on the chat for TikTok, the way I have to access it is really bizarre. So it's kind of flipping real quick. It's not a steady stream. So if I'm missing some of the comments, my apologies. I Speak 17QQ said the view should be called The Hate. Boy, isn't that the truth? Lisa Maria said those ladies are a bunch of Karens. Exactly, Lisa. You don't want to piss off. If Lisa Maria is coming after you, you know you've got a target on your back. No question. Oh, gosh. Sassy Minnesota girl agrees with us. All right, well, let's move on. So we all have heard all that's going on with TikTok and the speculations of the new investors, the algorithm, who's going to control it, where the server's going to be located. Well, President Trump spoke on this TikTok transition, and he said, we're going to have very good control. These are American investors, all of them, and they all love our country. They'll have control of it. Now, it's been my opinion that this happened quite a while ago, and they're just rolling it out now. But that being said, Alex, what are your thoughts on it?
I think we're just going to have to be patient and see. I think it would be great if we could freely speak on free platforms. I mean, why does that not make sense? The constant censoring, demonetization, not able to, and there are other apps out there, one that shall not be mentioned, where you can, as long as you're not, I guess, fully unclothed, you can do and say whatever. You can have an adult beverage. You can, James, settle down now.
James is ready to take off his shirt. Don't do it, James. Don't do it.
Coming to a Chippendales episode near you. No. So I will be excited to see if it does become a, Truth Social 2.0 scenario. That'd be pretty good.
Yep. James?
Well, when you have Oracle and Dell Technologies being part of this investor group, basically have an unlimited amount of money, then you talk about Rupert Murdoch and his son Lachlan coming into the investment mode of TikTok. When you have that kind of money and they're going to control 80% of TikTok and only 20 of it goes to China, I think that's a significant thing for us to continue to do business. TikTok is made a lot of millionaires. It's made a lot of people financially comfy, but in the same token, they've gone back around and taken those people that have 1 and 2 million followers and kicked them down the road because they were taking too much money. So that's the sad part of that. Some people are happy, some people are sad. It doesn't really matter to me if it sticks around or not. I haven't set any financial records myself on TikTok, but I'm not pushing it in every way, shape, or form that it could be. They say that if you have a showcase and you're selling stuff, and I think that we have somebody that has been with us for quite a while that showcases all kinds of goods. So there's ways to make money and not just do videos. And Dave, he's picking up on it. He's getting smarter and faster with it. And I'm still behind.
That's right. You're here. That's all that counts. Dave?
Yeah, that's right. Well, that's interesting. That's gone a total 180 circle on where we're appointed with and who we had on before. What's his name out of Wyoming, I think it was, or North Dakota.
Reed.
Yeah, Reed. Yeah. It was interesting to push on that, and we'll see what happens. I don't know what it all entails. I don't know if the full information's out on that, but obviously with 170 million U.S. citizens on that, that's a lot bigger. Is that a lot bigger than Facebook at all, Alex?
No, Facebook is
No.
billions across the world.
Right. I
Yeah.
didn't know how much was in the United States, but yeah.
I'm not sure, and I think the numbers have fluctuated with their censorship, with their redoing of, and the fact that they're listening, and all of the things that have happened. I don't know exactly where the numbers are, but 170 million Americans on the TikTok platform, and I would venture to say it's probably even more now. A lot of conservative people. I mean, Ducey just started up his channel. There are people going to migrate over this direction simply by the amount of publicity that it's getting.
Yeah.
We'll see. It'll be great again to have free conversation. I'm a little. You brought up Rupert Murdoch. I'm a little leery about his money being involved, but we'll see how it plays out.
Right. And I think, this is a good time to look back at the executive orders. Who has been seized and who has not? We just don't know. I don't think for a second that Trump and the administration would allow somebody with nefarious intentions to have any type of control over any social media platform. But again, that's all speculation. There's no way to bring receipts on it. It's just my opinion.
It's not always easy to see snakes in the grass, though, Sam. You know that.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. All right. So according to Disclosed TV, there was a cyber attack on Collins Aerospace, a global service provider for check-in and boarding system, causing flight delays and cancellations at European airports. Now, are we entering into cyber attack season? Because, we're seeing a few of these different things happening. This one just happened to be a very big one. Alex, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, I think we mentioned many times on the show, keep your head on a swivel. The boogeyman that they manufacture every time is something that you cannot tangibly, as an American, validate, right? The Atlas 3I is aliens coming. The fog is making us all sick. The boogeyman in the cave that flew planes. The cyber fits right into that narrative. Were they testing the waters? The infrastructure in this country is extremely susceptible to these types of attacks, and we've talked about this before on the show. What if there was a massive cyber attack, or an outage of the power grid? Like, what would our viewers, what would you three gentlemen do if you can't go to the gas station and swipe your card? You can't go to the grocery store and swipe your card. So be cognizant of where your vulnerabilities are. But I think honestly, they're probably testing the waters to see. Software is engineered by man, therefore it can be reverse engineered by man. There's no such thing as 100% in the cyber world. Just not.
Yeah, very well stated. James?
Well, it wasn't just Europe. I think you're right. Cyber season is here. Dallas, Texas, DFW and Love Field. DFW had to shut down for 2.5 hours. By late Friday afternoon, 1,800 flights were delayed. Hundreds canceled. American Airlines is the largest air carrier at DFW, and they canceled 200 and delayed 500. And Southwest had 1,100 delays, and that's 27% of its total flights. So it's not just cyber. And I think if Risk Tool technology would be pushed out there a little bit further, we'd be a little safer place.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, Crystal Zeski just made it, and martini time. Hey, everybody. Glad you could make it. Dave, did you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I was gonna say to Alex, does that season ever end? I mean, they're always pushing to get the cyber attacks 24/7. I'm sure, especially foreign countries and everybody that dislikes us just a little bit.
Well, what if they attacked the navigation GPS systems on all the tractors of the farmers?
Well, during planting, I'd put my markers that I still have down and go old style, right?
So, Dave, do you use GPS for your farming?
The only thing we have it on is combines and stuff like that. All the big farmers do have it. We're still basically old style, but it's coming. There's no doubt about that. So
when you say the big farmers, I mean, it seems to me like you have a heck of a lot of farming there. What would you consider big?
Well, and I was telling James, big is, I guess, our size and bigger. We're a little over 1,200 acres. I mean, there's guys that have GPS at 500. Like our planting tractor is an older tractor, so we've been saying as soon as we upgrade the tractor, we'll go GPS on it, and we just haven't got there yet because the prices haven't been the best as of late. So we're still old style, but it's coming.
So when it comes to the GPS, I'm just kind of curious because I don't know much about farming. Do you have an actual device that sits on the tractor, and does it actually control the tractor, or it just tells you where it's at?
Yeah, it controls it, and it varies a little bit. 1 to 5 inches, depending on what you pay for high grade to low grade and stuff. So
A lot of it, Sam, has to do with the signal that you're buying, because it's another subscription like anything else. In our operation, we use GPS for the planter, so it knows every field, and then we take that same GPS out of that tractor and put it in the combine, so it's basically hands free. It allows you to do precision farming. There's no wasted space. If you have 30-inch rows, it's going to stay 30-inch rows. It's not going to be a wavy line for a mile down the field.
And does it physically control the direction of the track? Oh, wow.
Yeah, you can actually, with all the technology they have today, like in Dave's, if Dave upgraded the technology in his combine, he could actually control the cart that's getting the corn from him and to speed it up or slow it down. So technology is all about in farming.
Wow. Isn't that what you were running when you were there, James, the cart?
I was the cart operator. Cardiologist is what they call that.
Well, and you ask about big farm, Sam. There's a group down here where I'm at. They have property all around the county. They have tens of thousands of acres. That's big farms, right? I mean, there's an app called OnX that a lot of hunters use, so that we can see property lines, we can see who owns the property, we can mark where we saw something, whether it was coyote or deer or bobcats or whatever, and it's really a hunting
and people
app.
share that information, Alex?
So they pull from the county database as to the ownership of the property. As far as you can share out what you see there, but I'm not sharing my honey holes with anybody. But again, going back to big farming, I can look at that map and literally you can't go a quarter mile in any direction and not see one of these very large farm properties, large operations, because over the course of years, as the little guys folded, because big machinery allowed them to farm more land, and the old school farmers on their little tractors couldn't farm the land, they bought it up and bought it up and bought it up and bought it up. And literally, I won't name the group that has the property down here, but they have tens of thousands of acres that they farm. Hundreds of employees, tractors. They have the grain elevator side of it. They have the land side of it. I mean, they have literally sewed up the farming industry in this corner of the state with the size of the operation that they are.
I hope that they're not Chinese.
No, they're
okay.
not.
Good.
One of Alex's honey holes will be outside his bedroom window, I believe.
Yeah, isn't that the truth? And for all of you who are wondering what we're talking about, Alex actually uses his pew from his bedroom when he's doing certain types of, shall we say, hunting.
So
Yeah.
I think I can give an example without getting us in trouble. But go ahead, James. You were going to say something while I pull it up.
Sam, I think you're just going to have to get your straw hat and your bib overalls, and you're going to have to come down to the Midwest and, actually get a taste of it.
Well, I'm definitely going to come down there. I'm going to come and visit you. I'm going to come visit Dave and Alex, and we're going to do a live broadcast from each location at some point. Alex, what are you trying to show us there?
I almost had it. Come on, camera. So this is my camera connected to my iPad, and if you'll wait just a second, I'll pan back over. And there's a very large possum in the tree outside my bedroom window, probably 25, 30 yards.
Right now?
Yeah, it's really hard to see. Let me see if I turn the filter off, if that makes it any easier for you to see it. Yeah, I watched him go up the tree, and right now the pears are starting to ferment. So it's pretty funny because they'll eat the fermented pears and then they'll fall out of the tree.
Wow.
So yeah, hit play, and there he is.
Wow. Dude, that looks like that movie Predator. Wow, that is so cool.
And there's another one right there in the tree. There were two of them up there eating. But the interesting thing about possums, they eat thousands of ticks. They are, because their blood temperature is so low, they are highly resistant to rabies. They're incredible animals. So yeah, we don't hurt the possums.
Yeah.
Allie Mae would probably make me sleep out in the shop for a year if I hurt a possum. So
exactly. Skippy said there's a ranch with several hectare near me, and it's owned by some Chinese investment company in New York. Wow, that's a hectare. What is that? How big is that? Dave, any idea?
Hundreds of thousands of acres.
Wow, crazy.
Chris Underwood over on my Facebook said actually out his shop window. Yes, out the shop window also. I do have a stake out in the middle of the field, and when it is deer harvesting season, what's left of the deer I put on the stake because the coyotes come to have dinner, and they don't leave.
Interesting.
So anyway.
All right. So Alex, are you ready to do a sponsorship announcement?
I mean, it takes me just a second. Let me share my screen.
Okay, let's go ahead and let me see if I can figure out how to get that particular screen up. Hold on, everybody.
I have to share it first, and then you're good to go.
Okay.
That's the wrong screen. That's the wrong screen. Oh, don't show that.
Bear with us, everybody.
There we go.
There we go. Okay, let's see here. There it is. All right. So, first up, we have Mike Lindell. Mike has been working hard to restore the integrity of American elections. If you need to get some pillows, some sheets, some mattress toppers, anything that Mike has to offer, if you're in the market for it, give Mike the business. He's earned it, in my opinion. Use the promo code SAM, and you'll get up to 80% off your purchases. We have Neil Naturopathic, who is the only, Dr. Julian Neal, has the only, that I'm aware of, toxin and chemical-free hair care products that destroy dandruff and cause your hair to grow. Go to neilnaturopathic.com, use the code SAM20, that's SAM20, and you'll get 20% off your order. And then Dr. Peter Glidden. Dr. Glidden has built a website where you can ask him virtually any question you can think of when it comes to health and wellness. Go to my website, click on the Dr. Glidden button, use the code SAM, and you'll get 30% off the membership cost. And then, Alex, let's talk a little bit about cybersecurity.
RiskToolTech.com, 18 plus years experience, helping organizations experience firsthand exactly how RiskTool software can help your organization stay on top of cybersecurity and regulation compliance easily and efficiently.
Excellent. Thank you, Alex. All right. Hey, Penny just made it. Hi, Penny. Glad you could make it. So next up, RFK Jr., who has been on fire recently, made a statement, and he said, this was over on X. He said, no government should mandate medical choices through the water supply. If families want fluoride, they should choose it, not be forced to drink it. And I'd also add that we are one of the only countries left in the world that fluoridate their water. I can remember literally 30 years ago, you guys, reading reports from MIT, from New England Journal of Medicine, from Harvard, from the British Lancet, all of them saying how toxic fluoride is. And now we've actually got it being brought up into the mainstream conversation by RFK Jr. James, what do you make of it?
Well, Florida and Utah are both in full ban of fluoride in public waters. Kentucky, Louisiana, Massachusetts, Nebraska, and South Carolina have all had it on their docket, and they're probably going to pass it. North Dakota, Arkansas, Tennessee, Montana, New Hampshire saw legislation, but it failed or tabled. So it's coming back around, and I think it's something that's going to catch fire. And I think more and more states, as time goes on, are going to adopt that plan.
Yeah, and you know what's interesting? Sodium fluoride, which is what fluoride is a byproduct of aluminum manufacturing and artificial fertilizer manufacturing. And it's so toxic that before they doctored the reports, they would have to spend ridiculous amounts of money to dispose of it properly. And then they were able to contract with certain medical associations and got them to say that it was good for you. So they went from having to spend millions of dollars to get rid of it safely to putting it in the water and charging money for it. Dave, what are your thoughts on it?
I think the first city that implemented it into their water supply was Grand Rapids, Michigan in 1950s, sometime in the 50s, I believe. Our city had just got rid of it. But I talked to my dentist, and they go, oh, it's going to be terrible. It's going to ruin it. I go, well, let's check it out. Let's make sure. It's going to ruin teeth. It's going to, it's going to make our job more, more difficult and stuff like that. I said, well, don't you think we got to make sure it's okay to put it in? And she goes, well, yeah. I said, okay, let's do that and see where it goes then, but they didn't want to hear about it. So it was interesting.
Well, I remember when I was married and my kids were young, I had one of my daughters had teeth problems. And I remember having a conversation. They wanted to do some fluoride treatments, and I was well aware at that point that it wasn't something I was willing to do. So I got on the phone with this dentist at that time and cited the reports that I was reading at that time. She had no answer, and she finally had to admit, well, yeah, it probably isn't beneficial to the teeth, but we just want to play it safe anyway. That didn't fly with me at all. James, what are your thoughts?
Well, fluoride is good and bad, but mostly bad. And right now, if they make you do it, if they make you take it, like in Davestown in Iowa, they don't have fluoride in their water system. And I think that's great. I think you're going to see a lot of states and cities adopt that plan.
Yep, 100%. Alex?
Fluoride was initially introduced into the U.S. water supply in 1945. The city of Grand Rapids, Michigan began to fluoridate the water supply January 25th as a part of a controlled experiment to study the effects reducing tooth decay, as you brought up. But interesting, Austria, Belgium, Denmark, Finland never fluoridated. Finland discontinued it in 1990 after a national review found risks outweighed the benefits. Now relies on topical fluoride products. France never adopted it. Germany banned it in 2007. Netherlands banned it in 1973. Norway never fluoridated. Sweden banned it in 1971. Switzerland never fluoridated. China discontinued it nationwide in the 1980s after 20 years of trial. High natural fluoride levels in some areas led to fluoritis risks, shifting to removal. Japan never adopted it nationally. So there's a reason, folks, that other countries around the world, and if you look at other effects that fluoride has on the human brain and mind, you might start to understand why the narrative was pushed that, oh, it's good for your teeth.
Yep, exactly. There was a certain camp that was used to lower IQ and make people docile back in Germany, if you know what I'm talking about. So President Trump yesterday was on Fox News, and they were talking about the amount of money that is being brought in terms of investment into America. And isn't it interesting that he said it's about $17 trillion? And then he repeated it and said exactly 17 trillion and more. Alex, what do you make of it?
Well, Trump called.
So much, you may even get tired of winning, and you'll say, please, please, it's too much winning.
It's too much winning, folks. It's too much winning.
I thought you didn't have your sound bar up.
Give me just a second, and I just had some buttons to click, sir. So interestingly enough, when we look at all of the pieces, we're getting towards the end of September. We saw this itty bitty teeny beady 0.25% by the Fed. We're watching gold continue to rise. Currently sitting at, I'll have to refresh the page. I mean, $3,772. It's raised another $5 since we've been on the show. We're witnessing the collapse of the fiat currency. I believe that more and more. Not financial advice, buy it on the TikTok shop, just my personal opinion. But I think systematically we are going to watch the complete and utter devastation of the third iteration of the financial system that has been implemented here. Follow the money. What he's doing. Yes, the 17 trillion number is a very interesting number. 17 being what? Do your alphabet. Where does 17 land? That's why we bring it up, folks. I'm excited. Again, we've had some offline conversations that I can't share publicly. The end of this month is the fiscal ending of the year for multiple branches of government and things. So, man, 2026 is a long ways away. For all of the things that have happened in 9 months of this man being in place, I'm pretty excited to see where we go.
Yeah, exactly. James?
Well, 17 trillion is what is going to be coming in the next 8 months. You have people like Peter Schiff saying, "Oh man, well if that happens, the GDP is going to be at 50%." Well, if we're bringing in so much money that we've never brought in before, it's only going to get better. Whether the fiat's falling on its face, whether gold skyrockets to the moon and they take XRP and really make some money and cause people like Alex to buy steak, that's okay. It's going to happen sooner or later. It's going to happen. And Sam, I'm not exactly sure if you're on the same page as me, but I think when that switch actually hits, I think it is going to be an overnighter. It's not going to be a real slow roll like Alex is. We battle back and forth with it, and it's a fun thing. But I think when the switch is flipped, I think it's going to go quick.
Yeah, I mean, I am no expert. This is not financial advice, but it would seem to me that I don't think we're going to see a slow rise like we did with Bitcoin. I think it's going to be a quick hit. Now, whether that's $10, $100, $1,000, I have no idea, and I have no idea when. But I tend to think with you, James, I think it is going to be a quick hit, and I think it's going to happen really quickly, maybe even overnight. But again, we'll have to wait and see.
It can't be $999, Sam. It has to be $1,000.
I don't know. I think if it gets anywhere in the 900 range, Alex should be buying steaks.
Hey,
that's just my opinion.
You're not in this bet. That's not the bet.
Exactly.
And
I know.
And I'm sorry. You still have $997 to go. I'm feeling pretty safe about this one. But if you follow the debt clock, hidden assets, stock market, land, real estate, mineral reserves, precious metal reserves, all of these things total up to $515,000 per United States citizen. Is that the switch that flips? Does that, we flip the switch and everybody just boom gets it? We have no way of knowing. We have no way of knowing. A little birdie told me that that there might be a federal dollar, not a Federal Reserve note, that's coming. So we'll just have to see. We'll just have to see.
And I believe that the dollar is being replaced, in my opinion. We're not going to have Federal Reserve notes anymore. The Fern dollars are going away. Hey, Jen Talk is here. Hey, Jen, haven't seen you in
Hey,
a
Jen.
while.
Welcome in.
Lace and Steel is here. Good morning, Lace and Steel. Wendy J, Leonard Little. Oh, everybody's a little late today. Well, not everybody, but some. Paco's here. Hey, Paco. Martini Time said, talking about Florida, it should be banned. It's poison. Absolutely, I agree. And Lisa Marie is saying, go Nebraska. What's that all about? I don't know.
They won
Franny.
yesterday in football. They didn't really play anybody, Lisa, but they won.
I'm just
Sam,
glad you didn't make any references to the kitchen, is all I'm saying.
Football. That's that
Oh.
game where that's that game where you score more points. Is that what y'all are talking about?
I think so.
Okay.
I know. Exactly. Tim Shaw 707 is here. Hey, Tim. Glad you could make it. All right, let's move on. This next story was really interesting. Matt Gaetz, who is now a broadcaster on OAN, One American News Network, was talking about Netanyahu funding Hamas $30 million a month, and Charlie Kirk suspected that there was a stand-down order on October 7th. And this is something I've done quite a bit of research into. The border in Israel is, if not one of the most secure borders in the world. You couldn't throw a pack of gum across that border and them not know about it. And Charlie Kirk said that you couldn't go 10 feet without having somebody with a pew-pew in their hand guarding that border. And Matt Gaetz just blew the whistle on all this. James, what do you make of it?
Well, if you go back and look in history, Israel predates Palestine by 1,000 years. Since 1994, the United States has provided $5.2 billion in relief aid to more than 2 million Palestinians. Israel's interests, Qatar, Germany, United States, UAE, Switzerland, Japan, Sweden. There's 73 countries that contribute out of the 153. So there's quite a few countries that have a say so, but as far as Netanyahu, I don't really know. But at $979,128,000 goes to that region every year, and that's a lot of money, and it's free money. They're not working, but they have what, 2 million people over there they're trying to feed.
Yeah, exactly. Dave, any thoughts?
Well, it's interesting with Charlie Kirk and Israel. I literally had to shut all that off because there was so much information and so much stuff coming around on that stuff on all the way around. But it's amazing how Israel is in the news, like out of nowhere,
All the time.
Literally out of nowhere,
over and over and over again. Yep.
Yeah.
Alex?
Is it so strange that a world leader would drop money in the lap of the enemy? $6 billion on a tarmac by Hussein Obama. It's the game, right? It's the war machine. I have a very close friend who actually lives in Israel. I had many conversations with her immediately following October 7th. And I'll just say that being that she lives there, I trust her views of the situation and what we're talking about right now. That it was allowed. It was something that she mentioned to me. If there's smoke, there's usually fire, and it's going to be interesting to see how all of this starts to ferret itself out. I mean, we've now had it brought into the spotlight because of a significant loss to this country. So the internet sleuths, the real media anymore, the ones that are going to go out and find facts, not feelings, are coming up with a whole lot of information that makes you stop for just a minute and say, wait a minute, it's not all adding up like it's supposed to.
Exactly. All right. Oh, James, did I get you on that?
You did.
Okay, cool. So it's interesting talking about Israel and Palestine that you now have Canada, Australia, the United Kingdom, and Portugal all recognizing the state of Palestine. James, what do you make of it?
Well, they recognize the state of Palestine as a sovereign nation. And here's where I misspoke previously. 150 of the 193 UN member states, which represent 78% of its international community, are on board with Palestine. And to see Netanyahu, I mean, there's a lot of interest in that area. I think the United States is probably going to end up with it. And I know that you've always said that we're saving Israel for last. I'm not exactly certain what that means. Um, there's been so much news, so much traveling through every news station about Netanyahu. It's Netanyahu this, Netanyahu that, and are we going to end up controlling it? Who knows?
We'll go
Yeah.
back to the unaliving of the last leader of Israel, and there is a lot of chatter around Bibi being involved in that. Like it's there's just a lot. Like Dave said, you kind of just have to disconnect and step back for a little bit and let the researchers do some research and then go verify, right? Critical thinking, discernment. We talk about that a lot on the show, before you just jump on a bandwagon, because what you think may be true may not always be true. But if that is the nefariousness of the governments of the world, is it really so hard to believe? I don't think it's too hard to believe, given all the things that we've seen go on here.
Right.
We'll just have to be patient and watch.
Right. And Skippy over on YouTube said, I'm not going to say the name, but the intelligence agency over there in Israel, hard to convince me that they didn't know. 100% I agree. I don't think it's feasible to think that they would not know. But again, it's being played out in a certain way for some reason. We'll see. Dana Mackey agrees with you, Alex. Exactly. All right. Well, let's see here. So, Charlie Kirk being assassinated was tragic. Yes. But there has been how many more millions of Charlie Kirks created because of it? And an example of that is 70,000 people attending his memorial in State Farm Arena. And one thing I thought was really interesting, there are continuity of government provisions in the government that prohibit, or I shouldn't say prohibit, but discourage all of a cabinet to be in one place at one time. Yet, President Trump and the entire cabinet was present for that particular memorial service. Does that mean that they were just throwing caution to the wind and doing it anyway? Or does it mean that the Patriots are in control? And to have 70,000 people show up for Charlie Kirk is significant. James?
That really is a landmark thing. Even companies that have two owners, they very rarely travel together. So to see an entire cabinet go to a memorial service, I was actually surprised at the number. 70,000, I think, should have been a little low, or maybe half of what it should have been. I'm happy that many went to pay their tribute and say goodbyes. I think it was a monumental thing. But really, for our entire cabinet to go there, that makes a huge statement.
Yeah, 100%. I agree. Dave?
Well, it was quite an outpouring for that, and to show the support for the Erica and the kids and all that stuff. Obviously, you can't bring them back, but yeah, it was quite a bit of people, and having that many people, I was surprised when it showed everybody that was there. So
yeah, exactly. Valerie James said, I think it was over 70,000, that there was an overflow in the ice arena next door. Interesting. I didn't know that. Alex?
Yeah, 200,000 people signed up. And while that is a significant number to be in one place, I think it's important, like you said, Sam, the entire cabinet was there. The security in that place was the best in the world. It had to be for that event. But here's something that'll really blow the lid off of it for you. There were more than 100 million streams of that event.
Wow.
100 million streams going across the internet of that event. And constantly, instead of calling it memorial, they called it a revival. My hair just stood up on my arms. We are witnessing a revival in this world. It's not just in the United States. This man affected people worldwide. And the conversation is getting back to family, God, and what's important. And to me, I'm at a loss for words at how incredible his wife handled herself on stage, still being a very fresh event in her mind, and in her reality and the reality of her children, to stand on stage in front of hundreds of millions of people around the world and say two words that are for her, not for him, not for anybody else, but for her, to say, I forgive. It's fucking huge.
Yeah, that's a big
Pardon my
deal.
language. Huge.
Yeah.
Wow. I watched all of it. And Don Jr., man, quite frankly, I think Don Jr.'s impression of Donald Trump is better than mine.
Yeah, he was good. That was cracking me up. Jen said it was historic. Absolutely it was.
Agree.
Absolutely it was. And perfect timing with John Gwynn sending the Trump train right at the right time. Thanks, John. All right. So it looks like that's the end of the stories for today. Where are we at? Let me see.
We're there, buddy.
Oh, we are?
We're there.
Oh, my God. 103,000 likes. You guys are amazing. I looked up a minute ago. We're like 58,000 or something. And all of a sudden we're at 100,000.
That was like 30 minutes ago. But
yeah, I know, whatever. I'm sorry.
If you remember, Sam, you're going to share the screen and put all of us on the screen at the same time. That's the buttons along the bottom.
Oh, okay, everybody, hold on. Let me see if I can get this right.
Car driver's going to think Dave's crazy today.
Is it that one, Alex? No.
And now share the screen.
Here. Go.
There we go.
There we go.
Look at
all right, everybody.
Look at this professional stuff happening.
Yeah. Well, as soon as I can get the controls handed over to Alex, it's going to be a lot smoother. All right, everybody, it's time to dance. Let's get up. Let's stretch our legs. Let's see if we can get the audio to play here. Are we having...
It's on me. No, sir. You ready?
Oh, okay. Yep. Whenever you're ready. All right, everybody, it's time to dance. Let's stand up. And obviously, there's no way I'm going to be able to keep up with the chat, but I'm going to do my best. Let's see. Who do we have dancing? Benji, 1959. Jason Coons is dancing. We've got Terry Dykes, Pure Blood Holly Johns, Jan Lovin being grandma. Excuse me. Rick Sr. is dancing. I'm Married to Bob is here and dancing, I might add. Penny is dancing as well. Let's see here. Oh, my goodness. Cindy Lou, Traveler, Rick Sr., Chris Romano. Everybody's standing up dancing. All right, who else we got dancing over here? Let's see if I can see anybody else. Cindy Lou. Kathy Jackson's dancing. Joy is dancing. All right, good job, everybody. Boy, it is a challenge with the way these screens are set up to see the chat, and there are so many people posting dance memes in the chat on TikTok. Wonderful, and you guys came through like champs. Tracy Fagan dancing, Kathleen Garcia, Valerie James, Deb, everybody's dancing. Just love it. All right, let me see if I can turn this off. I think we want to go back here. All right, what am I doing wrong here? This one? There we go. Okay. All right, everybody, let's get to final thoughts. Dave?
It's going to be exciting to see Trump and RFK Jr. Bringing up autism and what they think the problem is. Rumor has it, possibly Tylenol. So we'll see what that consists of.
Yeah,
but that's a
exactly.
Rumor. So we'll
hey, before I forget, everybody, I want to give some honorable mentions here. Of course, John Gwynn, the superstar, Mary Lise Brown, Penny, Frenny Dragonfly, Wendy, Benji 1959, Traveler, Kevin Kiesler, Kingsgirl 1974, Chris Romano, and the list goes on. Thank you all for the gifts. Thank you. James, final thoughts?
You know, one of the things that we learn as a lesson is when we have somebody pass like Charlie Kirk, we always seem to wait until somebody's gone to celebrate or to recognize what they've done. And I think one of the lessons that should be learned is we should celebrate people as we go on in life and not just when they pass. They say an artist production is worth more with them gone than it is when they're alive, and that's so true. As we go forward, you know, celebrate the people that are in your life every day if you can. Tell them you love them and embrace it. I think we got a rough road ahead of us a little bit financially. I think there's going to be some things happen. Alex is going to have to dig deep when it comes time to buy the steak, and that's okay.
Alex?
In
Well,
the
thank God.
shadow of the revival that's happening across the world, and that tragic event that happened, let's not pause in despair, but be in definite resolve. The fierce voice of that conservative family man and unyielding patriot reminds all of us that the flames of division cannot extinguish the light of shared humanity. I wake up every morning grateful to have air in my lungs. First words out of my mouth: thank you for air in my lungs. Thank you for a voice to continue to help. Don't put off today what you can get done till tomorrow. You know, it's not promised, it's not guaranteed, and how many people didn't wake up. So the appreciation for those of you that spend an hour every Monday through Friday with us on this show, with your comments, with your messages, both public and private, and these three gentlemen, I am extremely proud to call friends and appreciate all of you very much for the time you share with us. Thank you.
100%. Couldn't say it any better. Dave, James, Alex, thank you. And most of all, thank you, everyone at home. This isn't a show without you. You make it a show. We're so grateful that you're here. And remember that the best is yet to come. All right, everybody. Have a good day. We'll see you all tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. In the meantime,